been in therapy for almost 2 years now, and the biggest area of like really apparent growth that I've experienced so far has been with my social anxiety and like my social battery. I've always been introverted, and I've had a lot of social anxiety, at least since I was like in middle school. And for a long time, I kind of just thought that it was just kind of how I was, and I never really thought about it being something that I could do all that much about. And so it's been really interesting seeing how I really have improved in that area pretty easily from therapy. Like, I didn't really even spend all that much time on it in session, but I have gotten so much relief from social anxiety by just like a couple of realizations that I've come to with my therapist. So, one is that the root of my social anxiety is having an insecure attachment. Because I have an insecure attachment, I took it as my job as a kid to regulate other people's emotions for them. And primarily my parents, but then because your attachment experience kind of lays this like blueprint for your relationships with other people, that expanded to include everybody else. And I was never fully aware of how I was trying to regulate everybody else's emotions for them all of the time, and how much that drains me in social situations. And so it takes conscious effort, but just like reminding myself that, like, if somebody else is upset, whether that's like sad or angry or frustrated or any other emotion, I don't have to do anything about it. And if they're sharing something with me, they just want me to listen in the vast majority of cases. And so, just by not spending my energy trying to figure out how to help them or how to like fix things on their behalf, I find myself way less drained. And then the second aspect of this, for me at least, was that I kind of had all of these like fake rules in my head about how to socialize with people, or going to some sort of social event, like, I don't know, like a bridal shower or a birthday party or something, and I'm seeing somebody who I don't know super well, but like they're an acquaintance. I would say like, "Hey, how are you?" And usually that wouldn't go very far, and then I would just feel really awkward and like, what am I supposed to say now? Like, I felt like I don't know how to make small talk. This is terribly uncomfortable for me. And I kind of thought like I just like am missing this part of my brain that is supposed to like tell me how to make small talk and how to just interact with people in like a casual way. But I came to realize that it's not really that I had no idea what I could possibly say to people. It was more that I thought that there was some like magical correct thing to say. And also that I thought there's all these other things that I shouldn't say. So like I remember in one session I was talking to my therapist about how I had really bad anxiety if I would run into people at the grocery store. And my therapist suggested like, why don't you like say something about why you're there? Like, you're probably buying groceries, but like maybe mention some meal you're going to make, or comment on something that they're buying. And I explained that like, oh, like I can't do that because some people are sensitive about like their diet or food, and so that might upset some people. And so to me, because that might be an uncomfortable topic for some people, then I had to assume it was off limits for everybody. And that was another like attachment trauma related thing for me, is that I thought if something might upset someone, then you can't ever like say that to anyone unless you somehow know it's safe. And so I was kind of trying to assume people's boundaries in a really like restricted way. I was assuming like that everybody had tons of boundaries that they likely didn't have, just because I was so afraid of accidentally crossing a boundary. And so then recognizing that while like there are some really, basic social understandings of like, probably don't ask somebody about their weight, or, some like just very commonly sensitive topics, that for the most part it's okay to just try to make conversation, and that it's kind of their job to share their boundaries on most things. So like going back to that food example, that like it's okay to say like, we're having spaghetti tonight, like what are you guys here for? And if they don't want to talk about their diet or about the food that they're purchasing, like that's not something I need to feel bad about. Like I don't need to magically be able to read their minds and know whether or not that's a comfortable topic for them. And yeah, so just realizing that has kind of allowed me to just drop a lot of the expectations that I had for myself when it came to reading minds and like picking the right magical topic. And when I kind of was able to set most of those fears down, I realized like most of the time I can just kind of look around and like at the event we're at and comment on something, and it doesn't really matter what it is. Like at the grocery store, you comment on food. At a birthday party, comment about the decorations or about the person whose birthday it is and how old they're getting, and like, you know, how much you enjoy them, or whatever. Like it's really quite easy to make small talk if I drop all of those little like fake rules that I had made up in my head. And so it's been really exciting to just be able to enjoy socializing with way less drainage.